Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order, talking about 3 comic book stories here. The first one is from Star Wars Visionaries. It's In the Eyes of the Revolution, basically the origin of General Grievous. Now, I remember talking about this one and reviewing it the first time through. One thing I failed to mention, the artwork is glorious, and it's a really good story. Basically, a little bit about who Grievous was, how he got captured by Count Dooku, basically set up to kind of die and get remade as more metal robot than human. It bothers him that he is more robot. His first lightsaber that was ever given to him was from Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas. We don't really know the fate of him, but it is implied that that was the first lightsaber that Grievous got. He got it as a gift from Count Dooku, and that was his first lightsaber to fight with. And he's a good fighter too. Again, the artwork's really good. The story's fine. It's basically just kind of speeding through the months or years as he's being trained to be the menace that he will eventually be in Episode 3. Next up is from Star Wars Tales issue number 12. Ugh. A Jedi's weapon. Basically, Obi-Wan and Anakin go to this place, and Obi-Wan reminds Anakin, have your lightsaber. We're going to be negotiating to get this planet to the Republic, and the Republic really needs support, so we need to get more planets in there. So make sure your lightsaber is showing at the front of your belt so they can see a weapon. That's the culture there. Put the weapon in front of you to show you're a warrior. Well, the guy meets the Jedi or Obi-Wan and Anakin and thanks them for coming and says, hey, look, I got 4 beautiful wives. In our culture, we like to steal things, and I don't want my wives being stolen, and I only have 2 guards tonight. Can you go ahead and guard them just for tonight? And they said, sure, we'll do that for you. And as they're going by Anakin, you know, they're passing on either side of Anakin, he's like, gulp, like, whoa, ladies, you know, because they're scantily clad. Well, then when he and Obi-Wan get to the door to start guarding them, Anakin realizes that one of the wives, must have stolen his lightsaber because it's missing. Well, he doesn't want Obi-Wan to know because he'll be very grumpy. And so he decides to tell Obi-Wan he has to, you know, go to the refresher, and he escapes outside the bathroom, goes into the wives' room, and they say, no, it's not either any of us, it's the, you know, the wife that the king's with right now, that they're both asleep in their room. So he sneaks into the king's room with his wife in the same bedroom, and his wife says, you'll wake up the king. You want your lightsaber back, don't you? He's like, yes, can I have it back? And she gives him a test. Well, you want to, you know, get with me? He's like, no, I can't. I'm faithful to the king or whatnot. Now, it's really weird. But then she goes, well, I wish I could give it back to you, but someone stole it from me. Meh. And so then he gets, you know, Obi-Wan's knocking on the door. Anakin, are you okay? Because it's been a very long time. The whole adventure's been him sneaking out of the bathroom. He comes out and he's like, yes, Master, I guess I have something to tell you. He's like, you need this? And he shows him the lightsaber. He goes, Master, where'd you find it? Well, when he got pickpocketed, Obi-Wan used the Force to recall the lightsaber back to his hand and hid it in his robes until Anakin. He wanted to see how long it took Anakin to realize it was missing, and if he would tell him, which he didn't. Naughty, naughty Anakin. Star Wars Tales. What can I say? It sucks. Hey, but the last one is the 3-part series, Star Wars Starfighter Crossbones. I remember when I first reviewed this, I said, yeah, I remember really liking this one. I looked at it again, I was like, well, is this something I'm going to love? And the answer is yes, I did love it. It's written by Hayden Blackman, which he is second only to John Ostrander, in my opinion, when it comes to writing comic book stories. He's a really good writer, and this one has a ton of funny moments. There's a ton of them. I didn't want to write them all down, but I was chuckling throughout the entire series. His group is very memorable. It's like a Bith, well, it's not that memorable, I guess. Bith, Shadrafan and whatnot, but they're all very colorful characters, and his pirate crew is. Now, supposedly they kind of give a backstory of who he is in the first issue, and it's based off, I know, some kind of video game I never played, but Nim fought in the Battle of Naboo against the Federation. The Federation hates him. He went back to being a pirate later on, but hates the Federation. And so, but Nim is hilarious. There's one where someone goes, look out, there's a Galax coming after you. He's like, what's a Galax? And then you see one of those giant fishes, look very similar to the underground fish from Naboo. And the next panel is like, never mind. It's really funny. Another one, he tells the Bith, he says, because he's worried that, oh no, Captain Nim has been destroyed. He goes, I'm telling you, whatever. I think his name is Jennick or whatever. He's like, Jennick? He said, you're going to lose all your hair worrying about me. He doesn't have any hair. I don't know. For some reason, he's just fun. And the comic book's fun. Basically, there's this pirate going around, Sixus, and someone from his old home planet tracks Nim down and says, hey, look, I'll pay you to get rid of this, pirate. He goes, okay. Well, the pirate just recently pirated a prototype ship from the Trade Federation, which is, later on they find out, it's a cloaking device. It's a prototype though, because we gotta say prototype because cloaking devices never came around, even what, 20 years after Return of the Jedi. So, but they kept doing a lot of prototypes of these. Anyway, he meets and outsmarts the other pirate who kidnapped it, but of course the Trade Federation was on to Nim the whole time. They were following him. When he found their prototype, they came in, arrested both pirate crews. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Nim and Sixus were fighting offshore. They kept the battle out of the sea and onto an island. And when they found out that they'd both been, the Trade Federation come in to attack them both, they made a temporary truce to get back at the Trade Federation, where Nim blew up the prototype. And then at the very, and he supposedly kills the other pirate, gets his money, and then at the very end, he goes back to that island with his crew, and he and that other pirate are still alive, and they've made a truce here to make some money, but Nim is wanting to use whatever these crystals are on this island that the pirate knew about. He wants to use them against the Federation. Now, something I didn't notice reading this a second time, by the way, excellent series. I don't know how easy this is to track down, but I really loved it. It also appears that Hayden Blackman was hoping for a sequel, because it's almost like, it doesn't say to be continued or whatnot. It just seems like there's more story to tell with Nim, and I really wish they would have done it. I really wish he could have gotten his own ongoing series with Dark Horse. I guess maybe the sales numbers weren't that big, but I bought it because it said Star Wars. I didn't really care about, what they were talking about at first. And then as I kept reading it, I really enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it. And it's a shame. Nim is one of those, underutilized characters in the EU. He's so good. And his crew, like I said, they're memorable. They all have their own characteristics. I mean, you get to see them here and there, not as much, but I think if you had a big series, you could explore all of them together. It'd be some zany adventures. And that they're, going after the Trade Federation or hassling the Trade Federation, at least all the way up to the Clone Wars, and maybe during the Clone Wars, would have been interesting to read. But sadly, I guess I was the only one interested in reading about it. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.